So here we are coming to our second point of the way how we can love our husbands through wise homemaking, and that will be giving our best. Our homes are the sweetest place on earth, and once again I said the size doesn't matter, the place doesn't matter, no matter where you live in the remote island. The Lord has entrusted with you a place that you can build, that you can create. And it is definitely not a place where you can cut corners, so to say, where you just do things on the run. You do not sweep the dust under the rug, and you clean every corner with full attention to it, taking time to do the best job possible. Take a look at Proverbs 14:4. The same applies to cooking. If you have a different attitude, not the one that I just talked about, you will not be satisfied with your job, and at the end, it will haunt you in your mind. And you will constantly think and meditate on that thing that you haven't finished, or that chore that was not done, or that corner that was not cleaned properly. Basically, you will start getting anxiety. And one of the things that we, of course, all probably know is that procrastination always takes joy out of homemaking. I know it from my own personal experience. Even if I ignore the little slightest thing, it will haunt me. I know for myself. I'll always remember that I haven't done something or haven't finished some particular chore or whatever. Take a look. Maybe let's take a look together. Ecclesiastes, chapter 11, verse 4 and verse 6. He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. In the morning sow your seed, and in the evening do not withhold your hand. For you do not know which will prosper, either this or that, or whether both alike will be good. And I have these two verses in my cabinets, inside of my cabinets in the kitchen, and every time when I feel, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do something, or I just don't have that joyful attitude of giving my best, I always open my cabinet and read those verses and just soak them in and start meditating on them and remembering that the more I procrastinate, the more joy will be zapped out of my homemaking. And so this verse really encourages me definitely to keep going and sow my seed in the morning, and definitely, no matter what you do, little tasks, small tasks, big tasks, it will always prosper because the Lord tells us so. Maybe even both of them will be good in verse 6. And the main verse to support this point will be Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10, which talks about that. I love this verse. I absolutely love this verse because once again it reminds me always to do my best in everything I do in my life. Not just homemaking, not necessarily even homemaking, but just in everything. Whatever thy hand finds to do, do it with all your might. So I hope that verse will be encouraging for you also. Here we are coming to the new point, which is such a huge inspiration for me. And I wanted to share one very important thing that I want you to know, dearest ladies, is that everything that I shared with you so far in my studies, it's a part of my life. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to manipulate anybody. I'm speaking out of my heart. All these points, all these principles that I'm sharing are biblical principles that I applied in my life, and I've seen the incredible fruit that came out and is coming out and will be coming out for many, many years to come, Lord wills, out of applying these principles. So I know they work. I know they make my homemaking joyful. They make my heart leap every time when some task is accomplished, or I see a smile on my husband's face, because that's what it is all about, is to make your family healthy, make your family content, make your husband satisfied. And I see it works, because every time my husband always tells me I'm a good homemaker, and that makes me really happy, because that's what it is all about. I want to make him happy, and of course by making him happy, I'm making the Lord happy. Okay, so we will talk now about higher standards. our goal as homemakers is to strive for the highest standard in everything we do, in the way we clean, in the way we cook, in the way we do things around the house. We shouldn't compare ourselves or our homes, the way we run our homes, with other homemakers or other homes, like, for example, with the woman in Proverbs 9:13. But we should strive to do our best. We should strive for the highest standards. This principle, as you can see, it kind of correlates to our previous principle, but it's a little bit different, and you will see. We should be an encouraging and inspiring example to other Christian homemakers around us in the spirit of Titus 2, verses from 3 to 5. As older women, as wiser women, we should teach younger women how to be homemakers by our example above everything else. Of course, words are wonderful, and here we are sitting here and studying it together, but there is nothing like example. We all know that. And I would love to have you over at my home so you can see how I homemake. I would love to teach you just side by side. Maybe one day, maybe you're my age, maybe you're younger, maybe you're older. If you're an older lady, I would love to learn from you. It's just because it's so exciting, it's so wonderful. There's nothing better than to sit by or stand by the side of an older woman who teaches you step by step how to make an apple pie, how to clean that corner, what cleaner they use. Those little practical things are so wonderful. So we should always be progressing, learning fresh recipes, learning new ways to care of our homes. And unfortunately, of course, who can find a virtuous woman? So sometimes, I'm sure you know that, and you experience the same in your life, it's kind of hard to find a virtuous woman who can teach you. And in my life, I have the same problem, unfortunately. But and I've heard from many godly homemakers that learned from books. There are incredible, incredible books written on homemaking that maybe in our little appendix to this study, I will share with you how I get inspired by reading books from homemakers and learning their ways of taking care of home and cooking and everything. So we should always be progressing. Read books on homemaking, be discipled, learn the best from experienced homemakers. Proverbs 13:20. Let's take a look at this verse. It doesn't directly talk about homemaking, but you will understand why I chose this verse to support this point. Proverbs 13:20. 13:20. Here we are. He who walks with the wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. Let me read it again. Sorry for stumbling. He who walks with a wise man will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. This is one of my husband's favorite verses, and I think he is an incredibly wise man because he applies, such an incredible wise man because he applies this verse in his life. All his friends, all the men that he surrounds himself with, or the Lord bless him with, they're incredible wise men, and I know it rubs off, that wisdom, that spark, that desire to serve the Lord, that desire to leave the material behind and strive for the spiritual. And the same with us. If you will walk with the wise, be discipled by wise Christian women, you will be incredibly blessed. Just by the fact of inspiration, just seeing that somebody else is persevering, somebody else is striving, somebody else is growing, it's really inspiring. It just rubs off of you. So, once again, just repeat that thought, that learn from the best and experienced homemakers, from women in your life, from women in your church, from books. It's all wonderful as long as you're learning and progressing.